Your Etsy strategy doesn't feel chaotic because you're doing too little. It feels chaotic because you're trying to do everything at the same time. And that constant jumping makes it almost impossible for Etsy to start showing your products to the right buyers. Hi, I'm Sarah, and I help Etsy sellers stop guessing and start getting consistent visibility by using simple, strategic systems that actually work. If you watched my last YouTube video, I walked you through the three things that actually matter for your Etsy sales. If you haven't watched that, I've linked that in the show notes, whether you're watching on YouTube or through your favorite podcast player today. So now today, we're going to go deeper into why those three things feel so hard to stick with and how simplifying your Etsy strategy helps you get seen and get sales faster. And if you want the full framework for how Etsy decides who gets visibility on the platform, grab my free masterclass linked in the description. These are held live, so you can sign up to save your seat now before spots are gone. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. Your Etsy strategy is not chaotic because you're doing something wrong. It's chaotic because you are doing too much. Most sellers jump between niche ideas. They switch keyword strategies every other month. They create one listing in a bunch of different product lines. They try every tip they see in Facebook groups. And the problem is that none of these directions get enough time or repetition to actually take root and to help your shop grow. You are constantly restarting, not getting better at the stuff that's working for you. And restarting creates this overwhelm and frustration and zero real traction. So let's talk about why this constant switching actually slows you down on Etsy. Etsy needs repetition in order to treat your shop as important for a specific keyword family. And what most sellers don't realize is when you jump from idea to idea, Etsy doesn't have enough listing quantity or keyword consistency to see you as relevant for anything that you're trying to rank for. It's not that your shop is confusing. It's not that people don't like what you make. It's that Etsy doesn't see enough volume or consistency for a specific keyword theme, so nothing gets prioritized. And we can have a little mindset issue that comes here because a huge reason that sellers jump from strategy to strategy like this is because they see posts in Facebook groups or other Etsy communities and it's like, oh, this product blew up for me. This keyword made me 50 sales last week. This social media strategy or this new platform boosted my traffic overnight. And there are a lot of issues with that. One, it's impossible to recreate no matter what they're talking about. And two, you never get the whole story. You don't know their niche. You don't know how old their shop is. You don't know their existing visibility before they started talking about this thing that they're trying to tell you works. You don't know if it was a seasonal product or if it was one sale or consistent sales. You don't know if maybe they got featured by an influencer outside of the platform, right? There's so many different factors in this. And so it can look like everyone else has found this magic strategy and it makes you feel like you need to switch directions in order to match them. But when you chase every new idea that other people mention, you never stay in one direction long enough for Etsy to help you build this relevance for what you're trying to rank for, what you're trying to be known for on the platform. So if switching directions kills your momentum, here's what actually creates it. I want you instead to focus on simplifying. And this is not about doing less work, but it's about doing more consistent work in one direction for long enough for Etsy to actually reward you for the work that you're doing. When you simplify your Etsy strategy, Etsy sees repetition in your keyword usage. Your listings start to kind of get grouped for the same keyword families. Etsy begins to recognize your shop as relevant for a specific topic, for a specific product line. So you finally gain the search traction that you've been missing. And the mindset side of this matters just as much because when your strategy is simple, you stop bouncing between ideas, you stop second guessing every single thing you're doing, you stop rebuilding your approach every time you feel a little bit impatient. And this simplicity helps you create momentum, which helps your confidence, and that helps you stay consistent long enough for all of this to start working for you. So the next question is, what does a simple Etsy strategy look like? It really means choosing one direction to prioritize for now. So you might choose one product line to build out at first. You might create a handful of listings within that same keyword family, optimize them really consistently throughout your shop instead of switching tactics. Then you're going to track the same metrics for the next 30 to 60 days. Let Etsy gather enough data to build your relevance. This does not mean you can only sell one thing forever. It means you grow one thing at a time instead of trying to grow everything and gaining traction in nothing. And if you want to learn how Etsy actually builds that visibility, I want you to join my free masterclass. The link is in the description. It walks you through my visibility framework step by step so you can understand exactly how to get Etsy to start showing your products to the right buyers consistently. Before you go, I want to hear from you. If you're watching this on YouTube, drop in the comments and tell me what part of your Etsy strategy feels the most chaotic right now. If you are listening in your favorite podcast app, feel free to DM me on Instagram. I really want to hear from you about this because I would love to help you simplify it. And then make sure to hit subscribe so you do not miss any more Etsy tips or tricks along the way. Thanks so much, and I'll see you next week.